What's going on, everyone? I hope you are doing well. I hope you're ready to learn some English. Today, we are going to be talking about courtrooms and trials and judges and juries and Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. So, this trial, for some people, has really been taking the United States by storm. That means a lot of people are watching this. A lot of people are talking about this. And I put up a poll a couple days ago, and it seemed that not many people in this audience, the people who watch my channel, are really into Johnny Depp. I think 33% were. So, in this lesson, you will learn some terms that have been said in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, like Amber Heard and happy hour and megapint. But you'll also be learning about who is in the courtroom, like I said, judges, the bailiff, the stenographer. What are those things? Well, stay tuned for about an hour or so, and you will learn all of those terms. Before we get started, I must say hello to a couple people watching. Betty, hope you're doing well. Fayez, hope you're doing well. Harry, let's go. Casey, I saw Audie in here. Jamie is in here. She is the real expert on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. So if you have questions about that trial, she could probably answer. Yulia, hope all is going well in Russia. And Ukraine. Sergey is here from Ukraine. Welcome. Glad to see you in the chat. I know some of the other people I've been talking to from Ukraine said that their internet was a little spotty for the last couple weeks, but they're doing well. So hope Brian's here too. Hey, what's going on, Brian? And Yawin, how are you? Let's do this. You are here to learn some English, even though I could say hello to people in the chat all day. All right, we got a trial going on here in the United States. Today's English lesson is about trials and the courtroom with a focus on the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. Just in case you don't know, the lady on the left, her name is Amber Heard. The guy in the middle, his name is Johnny Depp. He was in like Pirates of the Caribbean or Pirates of the Caribbean, however you want to pronounce that. And that guy all the way on the right is me. Maybe you've seen him before. So let's talk about where the trial usually takes place. And that usually happens in a courtroom, or it might just happen in court. The trial takes place in a courtroom. The trial happens in a court. So you could say that either way. The trial happens in a courtroom. The trial takes place in a court. Now be careful. Notice that preposition, in a court. We don't say on a court, but we do have another way that we use court. You know English, right? We love to take one word and use it a bunch of different ways. Well, you might also hear a court when we talk about sports. So a tennis match or a basketball game can also happen on a court. So we would use a different preposition there. A trial takes place in a court. A basketball game takes place on a court. Okay, a little bit of a difference there with prepositions. Now, a big focus of this trial is abuse. And we usually talk about two types of abuse. One is physical, and the other is mental abuse. And I believe both of them are accusing or saying the other one has caused them physical abuse and mental abuse. They're both suing each other. We will talk about suing in a minute, but let's talk about what abuse is. So abuse happens when one person tries to hurt another person. We would call that abuse. But what about physical abuse? What is that? Well, anytime you hear physical, think the body. So a physical activity would be playing basketball. You have to use your body for that. When you hear mental, think of the mind, think of the brain. So studying English is probably more of a mental activity. You have to use your brain more than your body. So when you play basketball, you have to use your mind a little bit, but that would be a physical activity. Studying English is more of a mental activity. Let's see if there's any questions here in the chat. Hey, Mega's here. The Asian continent is really well represented. We have Korea, we have Thailand here, we have Indonesia, we have India. That part of the world is well represented today. And I know it's late. I know it's late. Oh, yeah. Prepositions, Fayez, pain in the neck. And as I say most of the time, if you use the wrong preposition, it might sound a little funny, a little different to the native speaker, but the idea you want to say will probably still be there. So, yeah. Oh, okay. We have somebody chiming in. Casey says Amber is very abusive. Okay. So it's not Johnny that is the abuser. It's not Johnny. Okay. And I just used that word abuser, and Betty wrote it in the chat. So the abuser is the person abusing another person. We might call them the victim. Oh, China. China is in the house. Welcome. Welcome. All right. So let's talk about physical abuse here. What is physical abuse? Physical abuse is when one person hurts another person's body. Hitting is one of the most common examples, but it could be slapping. Slapping is when, hang on, this isn't about abuse, but slapping, we would call this an open hand. So if you hit someone with your open hand, we would call that a slap. Obviously, a punch or a hit or shaking somebody. Those are all types of physical abuse. I'm sure there are more, but anytime one person hurts another person's body, we would call that physical abuse. Now, mental abuse is exactly what it sounds like. If you know mental has something to do with the brain or the mind, mental abuse is when one person hurts another person's mind. For example, they call them bad names over and over, yelling, screaming. Is there a big difference between yelling and screaming? Not really, but it's both. Both of those, you are using your voice very loudly, yelling and screaming. So if that is done to a person over and over, maybe a husband and a wife or a parent and a child, that could be considered abuse. Manuel, I hope you're doing well. He says all this trial has been is a Hollywood comedy. We're in the 19th day of the trial. That is crazy. I think the verdict, now that is not one of our terms, but I think that's coming soon. The verdict is when the jury, we will talk about them soon. The verdict is when they're either found guilty or not guilty. Something else we'll talk about. But the verdict, it's like happens towards the end. And finally, hey, did they do this thing or did they not? What's the verdict? I think the verdict is coming very soon. But I heard one day on the news, somebody said people have been found guilty of murder in shorter time than this whole trial has taken place. Yeah. Hey, Yawin has a question. Yawin is a channel member, so I must answer her question. Thank you. Talking about abuse, may I ask what's the difference between a punch and a hit? Yeah, sure. A hit is more general. So a punch could be considered a hit, but so could a slap. Oh man, you just, that person just slapped my face. They just hit me. That's the same thing. The person punched me in the stomach. They hit me in the stomach. So a punch is like that. That's all it is. But a punch and a slap, those are both hits, if that makes sense. Hope that helps. Wait a second. Jamie says it could take up to 6 weeks for a verdict. That's how long the jury can deliberate. So we will be talking about jury in a little bit, but that verb that Jamie used is often used when talking about a jury. The jury is in deliberations. The jury is deliberating. Well, what does that mean? It means they are talking about the trial. They are trying to come up with an answer. Deliberating. Usually takes some time. 6 weeks, though. Yeah, it's very confusing because both of them are suing each other. Verdict. I don't know. What is Fayez? Mobbing is considered mental abuse, right? I don't know what mobbing is. When we say mob, that's usually a bunch of people together. And it does have a bad connotation. The mob is probably up to no good. So I could hear the verb mob being used like this. When Johnny Depp leaves the courtroom, reporters are trying to mob him. That means they're getting in his face. They're trying to take pictures. They're trying to ask him questions. So I suppose like mobbing could be mental abuse. Depends on the person. Johnny Depp is a Hollywood star, has been a Hollywood star for a long time. He might be used to that. But somebody like me who has never been mobbed, I'm sure that could be kind of mental abuse, could be stressful if somebody is being mobbed. Yeah. Shia, how are you? All right. What does she want to get after this trial? Maybe Jamie can help out, but I think money, right? Money. She probably wants his money, and she probably wants fame, maybe to get more jobs acting. Amber Heard. She is an actress, not as well known as Johnny Depp. But in fact, before this trial, I had never heard of Amber Heard. But apparently, okay. Casey says, I still remember Amber said, on the record, we're going to be talking about on the record and perjury. I'm not punching. I'm just hitting you. You're such a baby. Johnny, grow up. Really? Did she say that? So we might call that a double standard. A double standard. Like a woman, at least in her opinion, can hit the man, but the man cannot hit the woman. Oh, grow up. You're such a baby. Can you imagine Johnny Depp, a man, saying that to a woman? Usually men are bigger than the women. So that would be a double standard. How about just nobody hit anybody? Can we do that? All right. So Jamie says, Amber did not start the trial. Johnny did. Okay. So Johnny is suing Amber Heard for defamation. We will get to defamation soon. And then what she did was countersued him. Countersued. So he says, you cost me money. I'm mad at you. You need to pay for it. And she says, no, I'm going to sue you back. You hit me. You caused me mental stress, mental abuse. Sita, how are you? Okay. Fayez says we use that word mobbing when someone is bossing around. Okay. We use mobbing a little bit differently here, I think. From Wikipedia. We can always trust Wikipedia, right? Oh, okay. Mobbing. Betty has. Mobbing is a sociological term big word, means bullying by an individual, by a group, of an individual by a group in any context, such as a family, peer group, school, workplace, neighborhood. All right, we would probably use bullying for that instead. Mobbing. Okay. Sociological. So sociological means like having to do with people. Anytime you hear social, think of how people interact with each other. All right. Let's get back to the lesson. Thank you, Betty. Thank you. Wikipedia. Be careful. We can't always trust Wikipedia. That sounds right, though. So, mental abuse is when one person hurts another person's mind. They call them bad names over and over, yelling and screaming. The next one, these are some people you will see in the courtroom, lawyers. And we have a lot of names for lawyers. But who are lawyers? Well, lawyers know the law really well and they help out their clients. Clients are people who pay lawyers. So lawyers study the law, they know the law, and they are willing to help out their clients. As long as their clients pay them lots and lots of money. I'm sure Johnny Depp, Amber Heard are both paying lots and lots of money to their lawyers. Now, you might also hear law firm, and this is the definition I came up with, and I will explain, but I tried to keep it in very simple English. A law firm is a lawyer's boss. So the lawyer probably works for a law firm. At that law firm, they probably have a lot of other lawyers. They probably have a lot of other researchers too, people that will help research the law to make sure the lawyer is doing a good job. Sometimes you will hear partner. Partner, that is a lawyer who owns the law firm. And there might be a couple different lawyers at that law firm who own it, who are partners. And a lot of times the law firm will be named after the lawyer's last names. So maybe like Smith and Jones. That could be a law firm. Smith and Jones are two lawyers that are partners. They own that law firm. But there might be many other people who work at that law firm. Hope that helps. It's a fairly complicated definition, but there has been a lot of talk in that trial about the law firm, about partners. The law is very confusing. Counsel. You might also hear counsel. Now, these counsel could be lawyers, but they could also be other people working at the law firm that help research the law. So here's the definition. Counsel might mean to give advice. So the lawyer could give their clients advice. Hey, I think you need to plead guilty. When somebody pleads guilty, it means they admit, I did it. I'm wrong. I did it. But counsel could also be another name for a lawyer. So far we have two words, or maybe even three words that might mean lawyer. Lawyer, partner, counsel. We have another one too. Attorney. They're basically all the same thing, or they could be the same thing. Counsel, attorney, lawyer. Counsel might also be other lawyers from the law firm. So Johnny Depp probably hired a law firm, which means he has all of that law firm's resources, everything they can provide. So he probably has one or two main lawyers, but there are a lot of other people at that law firm who is helping him or counseling him. Let's check the chat. We've introduced some very hard words here. Yeah, say hello to Kate. Kate, how are you? Welcome. Wait a second. Lawyers lie? Do they lie? Lawyers? Yeah. A lot of people in the United States hate lawyers and they hate used car salesmen, people who sell used cars, because those two professions are known for lying a lot. Yeah. Manuel says the more expensive law firms, the more expensive the fees. Yeah. Maybe the more they know how to lie. Yeah. They can lie and get away with it. They know the law. Plead the fifth. Fayez. That is not one of my terms, but in the United States, we have something called plead the fifth. So when a police officer is asking you, hey, did you just rob that bank? You can say, I plead the fifth, which means you don't have to answer the question. It's from the Constitution. I don't want to get too deep on that, but yeah, you do not have to answer anybody's questions when it comes to the law. I plead the fifth. That might make you sound guilty when you do it, but all right. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into if Johnny is masculine or not. I don't know. I don't know about that. Okay. So far, I've seen 5 different lawyers in defense of Johnny Depp. All right. Thank you. So that law firm must be working really hard for Johnny Depp. All right. Audie says, my brother's paid a lot of money to a lawyer to get his driver's license. Oh, in court. Drunk driver. State of California. Yeah, they could get you out. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the legal stuff, but if the police officers questioned him in the wrong way, or they didn't read him his rights, there are some way, or the breathalyzer, when they breathe into something to say that they've had too much to drink. Yeah, so a lawyer, sometimes if you pay them, they can say, hey, no, the police officers, they messed this up. All right, let's get back to the lesson here. An attorney. Don't have a slide for this one, but basically lawyers and attorneys, counsel, it can all be the same thing. Attorney is another name for a lawyer or counsel. What about I do have a slide. I didn't know I had a slide. There you go. That might be what an attorney looks like. Now, I do have 2 men pictured there, but women can certainly be attorneys as well. What about a bailiff? Right here, look at this guy. A bailiff. A bailiff makes sure everyone in the courtroom stays safe. They may also pass papers to the judge. Yeah, bailiff. They might have a weapon. They sometimes stand next to the judge. Now, the judge is the person in control of the courtroom. We will talk about them in a little bit. But the judge the bailiff, they may fold their arms, look tough, but their job is to keep everyone safe. The bailiff. The next person. It's my favorite word, I think, of the lesson. My favorite word to say. There is one other one, but I think this is number 1 for me. Stenographer. Stenographer. Try saying it. It's fun. Stenographer. Did you say that at home? Stenographer. Oh, yes, Shea. Plead the fifth can be used in daily life. Absolutely. It's not a legal thing, but hey, I don't want to answer. No, plead the fifth. My boss, I've never been late for work, but my boss may ask me, hey, why were you late for work today? Plead the fifth. Oh, really? Well, you're fired. Yeah. So you don't have any, just because you plead the fifth in real life doesn't mean there aren't consequences. Bad things still could happen to you. Can in a legal sense too, but yeah, you can use plead the fifth in everyday life. Yeah, I can imagine Jamie, my wife, she was in the chat. Maybe the last cookie is gone. I have a habit of eating the sweets in the house. She might ask, "Hey, where's that cookie? I was going to have it for a snack tonight." And of course, my family will ask me, and I will say, plead the fifth. You know, as I wipe the crumbs off my shirt, plead the fifth. All right. Stenographer. Yeah, Dennis, I agree. I like it. Stenographer. Sometimes I'll just be in a room by myself and say, stenographer. No, I won't, but it's fun to say. Also, we will talk about defamation. I think that's also very fun to say. Not very fun to do, but fun to say. You know what? Sita. I know Sita has been very busy. She's had some family coming to visit. So Sita has been away for a little while. She still leaves comments, but she left a super chat. Sita, thank you so much. I have a little bit here for you.
Oh, thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you, Sita. I think Sita has been with the channel for 2 years. Yeah, I know Amina became a channel member when I first was able to have channel members, and she just put up something that said she's been a channel member for 24 months, 2 years. I think Sita has been around for 2 years also. So thank you for all your support, Sita. It does mean a lot. All right, the next one. Just checking the chat here. Talk Italian with Arone. Yeah, it's true. Jamie she is in the chat. Yeah, I do. I try not to eat the last piece of pizza or the last cookie, but it's like so tempting. So tempting. Plus, I probably bought it. You know, Jamie also buys it, and I feel bad when I eat the last cookie and Jamie wants it because we pool our money. That's from yesterday's lesson. But the kids, I don't care. I bought the cookie. I could eat the cookie. But if it's Jamie's cookie, then I feel bad. I'll plead the fifth. I'm sorry. I can go get another one. I'll drive to the store and get another one. Stenographer. How are you? Dunsnay. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Can't watch it now, but he's going to watch on replay. And I want to give a shout out to anyone watching on replay or the podcast. Hope you're doing well. Oh, could you hit the like button? I forgot to mention that. It helps other people find the lesson. Speaking of the lesson, let's get back to it. We have to talk about the jury. And you will hear this term, jury of your peers. I guess. First question might be, well, what's a peer? A peer is someone at the same level as you. A peer. So the judge would not be a peer because they know way more about the law than we do. The attorney or the lawyer should not be a peer. They know way more about the law than we do. So your peers would be people who are adults and they have regular everyday jobs not connected to law. Everyday people, normal people, they have a general understanding of the law, but they're not experts. Or they might know nothing about the law. It's okay. And this is not one of my slides, but Americans have to serve jury duty. Jury duty. At any moment, the court could send me a letter or an email saying, Brent, you must report to the courthouse. You must report to a courtroom because you need to serve as a juror. A juror is someone on the jury. And I really can't say no. And my school where I work, they can't say that I can't go. They have to let me go and they will find someone to do my job for a couple weeks or a month. I have never been called to jury duty. I believe Jamie, my wife, has been called to jury duty once, but she was pregnant. So when she was called to jury duty, she could not say, "Hey, I will be there every day," because she might be having a baby on that day. So she got out of jury duty. And I have not been called to serve on a jury yet. But a jury of your peers, those are the people that watch the trial. They'll take notes and they decide if the person is guilty or not guilty. So here's my definition: a jury listens to the whole trial and decides guilty or not guilty. Guilty, that means the defendant did the bad thing. The defendant. Now, there are so many terms, really hard terms we could talk about, but plaintiff and defendant are two hard terms. Plaintiff, that is the person who started the trial. That's the person who wanted the trial to happen. The defendant, notice defend is in that word. They are the person who is on trial. The defendant. They are the ones who might have done that bad thing. Okay. Hope that helps. These are some really complicated, advanced terms, and I'm trying to say them in the easiest English possible. All right, let's see here. Checking Spain. Spain's in the house. Okay. So in Spain, you would have to serve on a jury if they wanted you to. Now, there are some ways to get out of jury duty. If you know the defendant, if you're friends with them, well, then you can't be on the jury. So there are some ways that you can get out of jury duty. All right. I don't know if Jamie is here, but looks like Audie has a question for Jamie. Okay. I have seen Audie's house, and it's a nice house. I would love to stay with Audie. He has a nice garden. All right. False friend. Okay. Yeah, this is not one of my terms, but foreman of the jury. It's the person in charge of the jury. Yeah, it's the jury president, the foreman. Good call. Not one of my terms. We might have to do a part 2 because there were just so many terms, and I'm trying to keep this lesson under an hour. So, but thank you, Betty. You're always so nice. Thank you. She says, brilliant lesson. All right, the next one. Let's talk about the two different types of trials. One is a civil trial, and the other is a criminal trial. Now, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, it's a civil trial. Like, some of the things they might have done would be illegal, like physical abuse is illegal. But this trial is about money. And that's usually what civil trials are about. They are usually about money. A civil trial usually involves one person trying to get money from another person. And we say that they are suing that other person. Suing is the verb. So I could sue somebody for causing an accident. Maybe I get into a car accident. I don't think it's my fault. My car is damaged. I could sue the person who ran into my car. It's like, hey, I got to get this fixed. You're saying you didn't do it. I'm taking you to court. I'm suing you. One more. Hey, plaintiff. We should talk about that. The plaintiff is the person who started the trial. They brought the defendant to court. And I think Jamie said Johnny Depp started it, right? Didn't he? Yeah, because he started it for defamation. Then Amber Heard said, no, I didn't do that. But you know what? You did something to me. So she countersued. We talked about that. So I think Johnny Depp is the original plaintiff. He brought Amber Heard to court. She would be the defendant, but she countersued. So very tricky. But that's what a civil trial is, usually about money. Now, a criminal trial, if you notice that person in the orange jumpsuit, that's what we would call that, a jumpsuit. And an orange jumpsuit usually means they are a prisoner. So a criminal trial is for a person who broke the law. They are the defendant. Let me read that correctly in case anybody wants to shadow. For a criminal trial, there is a person who broke the law. They are the defendant. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm an English teacher. And probably that definition is like accused of breaking the law. But I'm trying to keep it simple because in the United States, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. That's a term you will hear quite a bit. So even though that person in the picture might be on trial, he is considered innocent until proven guilty. The next one, we're going to talk about guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure. Does anyone know what guilty pleasure is? We all probably have guilty pleasures. And right there, I have a picture of some donuts. Those could be considered guilty pleasures. You might love the taste of a donut, and you may eat a donut from time to time, but you know it's not good for you. It's not nutritious. It's not helping your body in any way, but you still eat it. So that's what a guilty pleasure is. And for a lot of people, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial is a guilty pleasure. They will watch it. It's not teaching them anything, probably. It is, to some people, it might be a waste of time. Why do you care about these people in Hollywood? They're both rich. They're just suing each other to try to become more rich and become more famous. But you watch it because it's fun. So let's talk about what a guilty pleasure is. A guilty pleasure is something you like. It probably doesn't help you, but you enjoy it anyways. So I hope these lessons here are not a guilty pleasure. I hope you are learning something from it. If you learn something from a television show or a movie, it's probably not a guilty pleasure. But if most people around you are asking, why are you watching that? It's trash. We actually have a term, trash TV. Trash TV is a guilty pleasure for some people. And it's usually like reality television. We might say Survivor or Big Brother, or what's the Eurovision Song Contest. It's not really going to teach you anything, but it's fun. It's fun. I think most people in Europe will watch that singing show, right? So that might not be a guilty pleasure, but maybe like a group like the Spice Girls might be a guilty pleasure. Their songs are pretty simple. They're catchy. They're earworms. We've talked about earworms in the past, but you like it, even though people might say, why are you listening to that? Playing video games, that might be a guilty pleasure for some people. Most likely, you aren't learning anything from playing games. Some people might think that is a waste of time, but it doesn't matter. You still like it. Playing video games might be your guilty pleasure. So please, let me know in the chat. Are there any gamers in the chat? Type yes if you are. Type no if you're not a gamer. I would love to hear how many people are gamers here. Oh, Fayez, drinking Monster might be my guilty pleasure. I would like to think that it gives me energy, so it's not completely wasted. But yeah, you could call it. Yeah, probably my guilty pleasure. Uh-oh. Arone says he loves trash programs. Uh-oh. Gamer. Dennis. Casey. Wow. I would have to type no. I am not a gamer. I don't have enough. I just don't have enough time trying to get English lessons out on YouTube for you. I have a family, I have a job. I just don't have enough time to play video games, but I think they're cool. I used to play Fortnite 4 or 5 years ago with my son. So, no. Fan says no. No. All right, the next one is Your Honor. And you might hear a judge called Your Honor. All right, Freddie. Freddie's here. Hey, hope everyone's doing well in France there, Freddie. Flight simulation. Hang on, maybe we should talk about that. I would say, that's not a guilty pleasure. Because what if you're on a flight and then the pilot suddenly gets sick? Somebody in the crowd might say, "Hey, can anyone fly a plane?" And Freddie might say, "Well, I've done it on a video game. You're up. Land this plane for us." So, Freddie, that might come in handy at some point. Not a guilty pleasure. You could be saving lives one day with that video game. So just tell yourself that the next time you play, this might save a life one day. Yulia says no, she does not. Betty Lou, absolutely not. Not a gamer. No, Sita says no, I'm not a gamer. Too old for that. No, of course not. There are a lot of older people playing video games, but you're not old. Sita, we're the same age. We're still young. Oh, Mr. Coyote does. He does. Oh, flight simulation. Okay. So they're very popular here. Hey, I want to be flying on a plane with you because you might save our lives. Never know. There you go. Hey, and some people, okay, playing video games, though, might not be a guilty pleasure if you play it in English and you speak with people in English for your game. That actually might be a learning tool. So if you feel bad about playing on a video game for too long, if you're doing it in English, just call it, English studying. Studying. Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, Audie. I don't know about durian. I've had some durian candy from Japan one time. It was rough. It was a rough taste. That is definitely not a guilty pleasure for me. Call of Duty. Don't you have to talk to people? And if it's in English, don't you have to figure out who you're going to fight or something like that? Nice. All right, just checking through the chat. Yeah, no time for games, Sita says. Yeah, that's another reason I don't play is because I've never taken the time to get good at it. So I just get crushed. Just get crushed. All right. So lots going on in the chat here. Hey Brent, good morning. In France, it's Mother's Day. Oh, happy birthday to all the mothers out there. Danny, I don't think she's watching because she is on a trip, but if Danny watches this ever, she's from France. She's a mom. Right. Oh, there's a law that even parents can't slap their children. Interesting. I don't think we have a law like that in the United States. It's the king of fruit, durian. Okay. It stinks, doesn't it? To people who don't normally eat durian, I think it stinks. All right, back to the lesson. Getting distracted. So, Your Honor is something you might hear the judge called. So, Your Honor is a respectful name to call the judge. And in a courtroom, the judge has to be respected. They are the person in charge of the court, so they are given respect. Here's a sentence. If you would like to practice shadowing, everyone in the courtroom should stand out of respect when the judge walks in. All right. Hope that makes sense. You'll hear this. All rise. It's usually the bailiff that says that. But as the judge walks in, the people in the courtroom will stand because it's respectful. One of the first things you will hear a judge say is, "You may be seated." So when they sit down, everyone else sits down. "You may be seated" are usually the first words a judge says at the beginning of a session. So, of course, we have to talk about what a session is. A session. So the day is usually broken up into 2 periods of time for the court. The trial might have a morning session and an afternoon session each day, Monday through Friday. It's rare that court happens on a Saturday. It does happen sometimes, but it's rare. Crocodile tears. Just in case you've never heard this term and you're watching the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, in English, Amber Heard has been accused of having crocodile tears. So I'm wondering, before I say it, does anyone in the chat know what crocodile tears are? On the left, you will see an animal that I'm hoping is a crocodile. It might be an alligator. I don't know the difference between crocodile and alligator. It has something to do with their snout. That's their like really long nose. One is wider than the other. But when I looked it up, I typed in crocodile. That animal came up. It could be an alligator. And of course, you probably know tears. That woman, I think it's a woman on the right, she has a tear coming down her cheek. Very sad. What are crocodile tears? Oh. So Cisco says we have the same expression in German. I better not try that. But it does look like crocodile with a K, which it makes sense. In English, shouldn't crocodile start with a K? Sounds like a K sound, but nope. Starts with a C. Let's see. Does anybody have? Okay, everybody. It seems like everybody knows this expression because they have it in their language. Cita said, Brent, in Portuguese, we have the same expression. Okay. So what does it mean? Just in case. No way. Same expression in Russian. Okay. So maybe everybody knows this. English teacher. Fake tears. Yes. Nicely done. So they're not really crying. They're just acting. Amber Heard, she's an actress. So when she is talking about the abuse and she's crying, those are fake tears. I don't know. I wasn't there. But a lot of people say that Amber Heard has crocodile tears. So when you hear that in English, it might be the same in your language. So apparently in Portuguese and Turkish, German, all the same. In Persian, so if you're in Iran, probably. Oh, good, Casey. So maybe not in Chinese. So never heard of it. New expression. Crocodile tears. All right. Let's go on to the next one. All right. Amber Heard. Some people, I think even Johnny Depp and his lawyers have said Amber Turd. I don't really want to explain what turd is, but you can see in the picture there is a roll of toilet paper. So just in case you don't know what a turd is, you'll find it in the bathroom, hopefully only in the bathroom, at least by humans. You might find a turd on the grass if there are dogs nearby. It's really gross, really stinky. And after you eat food like durian, you will probably make a turd at some point. So hopefully with that explanation, everyone will now know what a turd is in English. Yeah. Hang on, English teacher. Is this why it's called crocodile tears? I have no idea. When crocodiles open their mouths too much while reserving their prey, liquid comes out of their eyes. However, this secreted, it means liquid coming out of a small hole. We're also talking about turd. This is gross. Okay. The secreted fluid has nothing to do with tears. Interesting. You know what? When I yawn really, really wide, my mouth opens wide. Sometimes I have tears or I'm laughing so much. Sometimes tears come out of my eyes. Thank you, English teacher. I had no idea. Starting from this situation, crocodile tears are considered for people who seem upset, even though they are not upset about something. Well said. Well said. English teacher, can you write a definition for turd, please? And then I can just put it on the screen. So I don't have to say it. Okay. Hopefully everybody knows what turd is now. Ugh. Oh, she does not stop crying. Well, it wasn't hard. Every picture I found of Amber Heard or Amber Turd, if you don't like her, you can call her Amber Turd, showed her crying. Like every picture. In a courtroom, she was crying. So, okay, phew. Okay. English teacher. Here we're a bit clever as well. We've all understood. No, yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't know why they're called crocodile tears. So nice. So if everyone, Manuel, hopefully you're clever enough. Can we move on from turd? Okay, brown thing. Yes, it's brown. If it's not brown, then go see your doctor. But yes, like if it's green or yellow or red. Ooh, if it's red, go see your doctor. But yeah, it should be. I'm not going to put what, if you look at what Betty said, yeah, that's it. All right. Moving on from this, let's talk about witness. All right. A witness. It might be two different things, but they're kind of the same. So you could have a witness in court, but if you look at that picture on the right with the police officer, that doesn't happen in court. That picture looks like there's an ambulance and a stretcher. So a witness is someone who witnesses something. It can be a verb. A witness is someone who witnesses something. And what does that mean? It means they saw something happen. So in court, there are often witnesses called, I think the next one, a witness will take the stand. Take the stand. That means they come up in front of the judge and they explain what they saw. So in the trial, if there were any witnesses to Johnny Depp being physically abusive to Amber Heard, they will be called to the stand and they can testify. That's the verb we use when they are explaining what they saw. So the witness will testify, oh yes, I was there when Johnny Depp slapped Amber Heard. Now I think that's the problem. There are no witnesses, right? If this ever happened, there were no witnesses. Nobody else saw this except the people on trial, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, but a witness. So maybe they witnessed an accident. If I try, let's go back to that story I was telling. My car gets hit. Another person hits me with their car. I could sue them. Hopefully there are witnesses. Hopefully other people saw that accident. Maybe I had a person in the car with me. They saw what happened. They would be a witness. They would be a witness. All right. The next one, take the stand. We talked about that. Take the stand. Yeah. Oh, just one more. Amber Heard has been called Amber Turd a few times during the trial. The next one is under oath. Under oath. A lot of times when the witness takes the stand, they will put their hand on the Bible. Now, you do not have to put your hand on a Bible, especially if you're not Christian. If you are Muslim, you could put your hand on the Quran. Or if you're Jewish, you could put your hand on the Torah. Or if you don't want to put your hand on any kind of religious text, and that's okay. But you do have to swear to tell the truth. But a lot of times, I think the most common is someone will raise their right hand and put their other hand on the Bible when they promise to tell the truth. A witness on the stand is under oath. It's illegal for them to lie. And we have a special term if somebody lies on the stand. If a witness lies on the stand, it's called perjury. Okay? Perjury. And if they are found to be lying and it can be proven, they could go to jail. Like, you cannot lie in a courtroom if you're under oath. All right, the next part is discovery. This has been mentioned a few times. Discovery. And that happens before the trial begins. The two sides exchange information. So Amber Heard's lawyers, Johnny Depp's lawyers, before the trial begins, they will meet, or they will at least exchange emails talking about the witnesses they want to call to the stand. They explain who will be called as witnesses, so there are no surprises. Yeah. So if a witness comes forward during the trial, that's after discovery. Like, Johnny Depp's lawyers will have to tell Amber Heard's lawyers, hey, listen, before this witness takes the stand, I need to let you know they are going to be appearing. And then that gives the other side a chance to research. Hope that helps. All right, just checking the chat to make sure there aren't any questions. All right. Looks like there are none. Defamation. It is one of my favorite words to say. Stenographer and defamation. Two of my favorite words in this lesson. All right, this is what defamation is. It's a very long word, but it's a pretty simple definition. Defamation is when someone tells lies about another person and that causes them to lose money. So Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard for defamation. So she said Johnny Depp hit her. Johnny Depp is saying, I did not hit you, but you cost me a lot of money. People will not hire me to act anymore because of the bad things you said about me. So I am going to sue you for defamation because what you said is a lie. Hopefully that helps. Defamation. Fun to say. Fun to say. The next one, you probably have this in your country. You might call it something else, but happy hour. Johnny Depp said something like, hey, isn't happy hour any time of the day? Happy hour in English, or at least in the United States, is a period of time at a restaurant, at a bar, at a pub where alcoholic drinks are on sale or they're cheaper. Happy hour. It usually happens when the bar or restaurant isn't busy. So happy hour doesn't usually happen on the weekends because people go to the restaurant on the weekends. But happy hour might be from 3 to 6 p.m. in the evening, the afternoon, 3 to 6 p.m. after people get off work. Drinks are a little cheaper. It brings people into the restaurant. And I know happy hour, I just set a time from 3 to 6. That's like 3 hours. We still call it happy hour. Megapint. This is a word I think you will only find the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. A megapint. Now, and I think they were talking about wine, but a pint of beer is pretty common. I think it's more common in England, a pint. But if you say, hey, I'll take a pint, that means you want a glass of beer. Because in the United States, we don't really use pints. But yeah, we use like liters. That's a lot. But we just probably say, hey, can I get a glass of beer? But a pint in England is also another word for glass of beer. Mega. When you see that prefix, mega, M-G-A, think of big. Megapint. Okay. So a megapint, to me, it sounds like a really big beer, but that is not a word I heard before the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. I just haven't heard it, a megapint. But it was said in trial, and I think I saw a TikTok or something on megapint, and it made me laugh. Yeah, Johnny Depp. I don't know if he was acting there, but because the lawyer said, "Didn't you have a megapint of wine?" And he just started laughing. He's like, "Megapint." Yeah, we would say a glass of wine. Wine does not come in pints, but megapint. That's what I heard. I thought it was pretty funny. Hey, Edwin, we have a new member. Well, welcome to the family. Got a little something for you here.
New member. Make sure you check the members tab for the Discord, the members chat, and the bonus videos.
Yeah, so as a member, you will have access to all of the bonus videos. There is a playlist for members. Your name is now in green. You have some new emojis you can use. Some with my face, some with the broken shed door, the mattress. There are some emojis there. If you're a silver member, check after because I will put a link to the Discord server. And if you are a gold member, check the link for the volley space. Okay, so there are a lot of bonuses you can get being a member. But glad to have you. Glad to have you. And if you're on Discord, I look forward to speaking with you. Welcome, Edwin. All right. Anything more in the chat that we should talk about before this ends? Yeah, I might have to do a part 2 because there are a lot of terms we could talk about with trials and maybe even Johnny Depp. Who knows? Maybe after the verdict, we'll talk about some more. Uh-oh. What does Freddie say? Can I sue Johnny Depp and Amber Heard because they're bothering me with their poor story? It's everywhere, right? Or do you feel a little bit of mental abuse? Yeah, mental abuse is probably something we shouldn't joke about, but or mobbing. It is almost like we're being mobbed by all of the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp news. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Happy hour is what sounds like on a Friday night when the general manager who can't get his raise that he wants pours whiskey in his room. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Friday nights usually don't have happy hour. Maybe some restaurants might, but it's usually for Monday through Thursday, trying to get people to spend their money. Oh, that's too bad if you can't get a raise. The mattress, the good old days. Yeah, you have to go back a little while for the mattress, but it's still an emoji. The shed door did make an appearance a couple lessons ago. Cecilia mentioned the broken shed door. Yeah, I broke the shed door a couple years ago on a live lesson. Yeah, we really could, Betty. We could do a whole series on this because I didn't talk about. We talked a little bit about verdict. Yawin sent me a bunch that I need to talk about. So there might be a part 2 coming soon. Next week, it'll be about skin problems, the live lesson. I think sometime in the middle of the week, I'm going to have a lesson where we listen to Elon Musk for a little while because he speaks very unique English and he uses a lot of terms that native speakers use all the time. So he's a very smart man. We could learn a little bit, I think, from Elon Musk. So I would like to thank you all for stopping by. I hope this lesson was useful to you. Thank you, Sita, for the super chat. Thank you, Edwin, for becoming a member. I look forward to talking to you soon. That'll do it for this week. Until next week, you all. Hope you're doing well. Hope you stay safe. All that stuff.